Hey guys, welcome back to Standard Time. So today is the 1st of September and that means it's Rolex Day. You've probably seen a lot of videos about this already. So what have they done? They've updated the movement and they've changed the case slightly, ever so slightly. They essentially changed the construction of the weight of the lugs and how it attaches to the rest of the case. They narrowed that down just the slightest bit and they increased the overall diameter of the case to 41 millimeters from 40 to 41. So that's half a millimeter on either side of the watch. So it's not really a significant size increase or change in dimensions, but I think it really does matter. I actually like the old maxi case. That was I think one of the trademark things of a Submariner, and I really like the way it sat a bit like a small tank, like a miniature tank on top of your wrist. So I really liked how the bracelet sort of had a harsh and sudden taper, and it was a lot smaller than the case essentially. So I thought that was really cool. That was quite special to me regarding the previous Submariner, and so I don't really like this new rendition. Now let's talk about the bezels. Like this is the most important thing to most people, just the colors. I mean, it's a bit ridiculous now, but with Tudor's recent Blue Bay release, I think most brands just need to change the color of their product and make the slightest variation, and people seem to really go crazy about it. That's something I don't quite understand, but nevertheless, we've not got a blue bezel on the stainless steel models. The only blue bezel is the one on the white gold model, which replaces what used to be the Smurf. So the Smurf was a slightly different color of blue, but it was a blue dial plus blue bezel, a bit like the Tudor Black Bay blue. So this new one essentially is just a darker blue bezel and white gold. So not too many people care about this watch. It's ridiculously expensive, so everyone's concerned about the stainless steel sports models. So those are the ones we're going to cover. So now, what have we got? We've got a new movement. So the 32-35 on the date versions and the 32-30 on the non-date Submariners. So now, new would be a kind of loose explanation of the term, because they've had the 32-35 movement, I think, since 2015 or so. I think they put it on the Pearl Master initially, and it's currently on the date Sea Dweller. So it's not particularly newly designed for the new Submariners or the new releases of 2020. I mean, they've put the same movement in the Oyster Perpetuals, also the no date ones, and also in the Datejust. So it's a bit like how McLaren as a car company does things. So they have this 3.8 liter V8 twin turbo engine, and they put that in the 540C, the 570S, 600 LT, and the 675 LT2, and the P1. I get that it's economical to do this, and it's actually quite beneficial to the Oyster Perpetuals, but it's the same movement as in the Submariner and Sea Dweller, and you could see a near double of price. But anyway, it's a great movement, so I guess that should make the Oyster Perpetual buyers really happy, because now that's a really strong watch. Now, if we just take a quick look at the Submariners, you can see that it's not really different apart from the green bezel. Now the green bezel, they've brought it back. So originally the Kermit, quite a few years ago, they had a different shade of green, but it was not a ceramic bezel, and everyone calls it the Kermit. So now they've got the same principle applied here, slightly darker shade of green, and it's a ceramic bezel insert. It's very much like this. I know you've been looking at this, and it's not a Rolex, it's a Steinhardt. Same idea, green ceramic bezel insert, but this is a 42 millimeter watch, and the case dimensions are not similar to Rolex, but it looks very similar. Do I like the new releases? Not particularly. I like the old case. The movement, okay, they brought it up to 70 hours of power reserve. But Tudor's had that for years. I mean, Rolex just has been lagging behind. I mean, you can't sit there and start appreciating them coming to terms with the market. They've not done something beyond. Okay, people do care about, I mean, the small things regarding the movement, whether it's the parachrome hairspring or the paraflex shock absorber. And these smaller things that, taking an engineering perspective, yeah, it's quite nice. But to the person buying a Submariner, you don't care. You don't see the movement, you really don't care. Even if Rolex had not updated the movement, I'm sure people would have been disappointed, but that would not have changed with the opinion of the new subs. It's great to have 70 hours of power reserve, and I'm glad they did it, but they've not done something special. They've not gone above and beyond. They've just incrementally sort of made it better. But when you have Tudor as a sister company producing a movement on a much less expensive watch, which is also in-house, and 78 hours of power reserve, I get it, it's not the same level of in-house, and Tudor has their movement maker. Now that movement's also on that recent new release, an Arcane watch. Rolex could have done 90 hours, why not? I mean, I know it's a bit of an undertaking, but if you look at another dive watch which kind of sits in the same range as the Submariner, it's the Blancpain 50 Fathoms Bathyscaphe. Well, that's got 120 hours of power reserve. It's also a three-hander. You can probably get it for less because pricing and marketing and Rolex, essentially. So that's much better value, I think. And so I really do think if they tried hard, they could have put in a lot more power reserve. I mean, the accuracy is great. It's fantastic. I don't think anything needs to be done there. It's +2, -2, that's Rolex's certification. That's pretty much as good as it gets outside of maybe spring drive or quartz movements. But yeah, overall, what I think of this release, it's a bit subdued. I think it's not too helpful to have the green bezel for those who have the Kermit. But then again, I don't really think it's gonna change the values of the Kermit watch. And of course the Hulk is gone, so that's gonna hit astronomical values. What do you think? Do you think this was the right move? Do you think that they should have kept the case the same, done the bezel stuff, and updated the movement? So let us know down below in the comments. What would you have done? Are you disappointed by the bezel options and no change in the dials? I kind of am. I was hoping that they'd have a fun dial color too, like they did previously with I'm talking about the stainless steel sports models. The others are not that interesting anyway. So I wish they did something like the Hulk, maybe a different color. That would have been fun. Red, orange, yellow, anything. Pretty much what they did with the Oyster Perpetuals. They could have put any of those dials into the Submariner. That would have been fantastic. But yeah, let us know. Thanks for watching. If you like our content, do subscribe, and see you guys in the next video. Cheers.